Okay, so now let's talk about how to actually log some food. So here I am on the home screen. You can do this two ways. I can hit diary at the bottom there, or I can even hit that blue plus sign, and then I can easily go to whatever I'd like to go ahead and add. And in this case, if I wanted to food, then I would go ahead and log my food. I'm gonna go ahead and just go to the diary. So we'll notice here, there's our prescription at the top. And I have not logged anything yet. Okay, so let's just say this is for breakfast. So I'm gonna go ahead and add food. Now in the beginning, this is probably what your MyFitnessPal will look like. You'll have no history, you have no recipes, meals, or My Foods quite yet. But as we start using the application, those things will start getting filled with what we've been using, and that's going to make things even easier because then we can just kind of look back at what we've put in before. And hopefully if we're kind of using some of the same foods, it'll get a lot easier because they'll be already listed in here. Okay, so first of all, the easiest way to go ahead and log something is to go ahead and use the barcode from the actual food. Now, not all foods have barcodes, so we'll talk about how to do that afterwards, but let's just start with the easiest. So there's that little barcode symbol right there on the right-hand side. So I'm gonna go ahead and press it. Here we go. So here is what I want to log. So I've got some ground beef. It's 93% lean, 7% fat, and I want to go ahead and log that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it around. There we go. And find the barcode. All right, and so then it's going to come up here. Now you want to make sure to check that it actually is correct. It's not always correct, and so we'll show you how to figure that out after. So I go ahead and check, yep, 160 calories for 4 ounces, 0 carbs, 8 grams of fat, yes, and 23 grams of protein. Perfect. So that's for 4 ounces. Now at this point, I might not quite know how many ounces I want. So I can just leave it at 4 ounces or know that, well, I usually have a little more. So maybe I'll put in 2 and see what my macros look like for 8 ounces. But you're free to kind of, change that as much as you want. The other option, let's go ahead and tap where it says 4 ounces, is sometimes they'll actually even give you these other options. So for example, I could put it in 1 ounce increments because maybe I'm going to have 6 ounces of ground beef, right? So now I can just be really specific. Maybe I have 7, and that's a little harder to figure out when it's not, let's say, a multiple of 4 in this case, right? Or I'm going to have 9 ounces, right? So we have a lot of flexibility there if we change the serving size. We just want to make sure initially that 4 ounces that was on the nutrition box on the actual product matches, and then we can go ahead and make this fit however we'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and just say 8 ounces, and I'll hit that check mark at the top. And then at the bottom here, it says add 1. I'll click that. And there we go. We've got 8 ounces of 93% ground beef. Perfect. All right, let's talk. What if I use the barcode and it comes out wrong? So I have another food here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to add food. And again, I'm going to go, now notice you already have a history now. So there's that ground beef. I could actually just go back and use that. So if I use that on a regular basis, perfect. I don't have to be even using the barcode every day. Great. All right, but let's talk about a food that might not be there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that barcode. All right, so I've got some chicken here. It's actually some free range, let's say organic boneless chicken thighs, actually skinless as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over because I'd like to have this. Where's my barcode? Oh, it's on the front. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and double check. So for 4 ounces of thighs, 130 calories. Well, when I look at the back here, it actually says 150 calories. So that's actually fairly significant. That's 20 calories, and most likely I'm going to have more than 4 ounces. So that's going to add up really quickly. So that's obviously wrong. Let's look at where the macros went wrong. So 0 carb, yes. 7 grams of fat. Actually, it only has 5 grams. And then it says 22 grams of protein, but on the package it actually says 24. So that's enough for me to feel like, I don't want to use this one. It's a little too inaccurate for my taste here. So I'm going to go back again. And I'm going to go ahead and hit that plus sign at the top. And what I want to do is I would like to create a food. So we can talk about creating a recipe or a meal in another video, but for this one, I just want to create a food in order to get the correct macros. Okay, so I am going to have to take a little bit of a moment to input this information, but what's going to be great is that once I have it in here, it's just always going to be in my FitnessPal and I can use it very easily. So this is boneless, skinless chicken thighs. It's important, I would say, to use the correct brand name so that you remember what you bought, so if you want to use it again. And then also just be as descriptive as you can, that way you know exactly which product you were using. All right, the serving size on the package is 4 ounces, which is pretty typical for meat. So I'm going to put in 4 ounces, perfect. And although there's actually more than 4 ounces, in fact, it's varied in this one, I'm just going to say 1, and that's fine. And then I can go ahead and utilize 4 ounces at a time. So I don't have to put in how many is actually in the package. All right, I'm going to keep going. And now I'll just fill this piece out. So calories, we said 150. Total fat is actually 5 grams. Saturated fat, you don't have to put in all these extra little things, but if you'd like, you can. There's only 1 gram. It doesn't say anything about polyunsaturated or mono. There are no trans fats in here, that's fine. Cholesterol, all animal products will have some cholesterol. There is a little bit of sodium as well. I'll put that in. Again, these extra things are not super important, but they might be helpful just in looking in total at what you're intaking. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave potassium. No, there's no carbohydrates, so I'll just put 0. Because there's no carbs, there's no fiber, there's no sugar. Protein, 24 grams. And again, if, like I said, if you want, you can go ahead and put in these extra pieces. So 2% vitamin A, there's a little bit of calcium, 2%, and a good amount of, let's say, iron, 8%. And that's all the information they give me. And that's okay to leave the rest of it blank. As you see there, they're optional anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark. And I've now created my food, and I'm going to just go to the bottom where it says add. And I can add that. Perfect. Now, I can go ahead and tap in there for the boneless, skinless, excuse me. Oh, shoot. I saw it gave me a little note that I could go premium. It's going to, try to encourage you to do that. It's not necessary. And let's just say maybe I want 2 servings, so that means 8 ounces. I can also go here and notice that it can break it down into 1 ounce as well. So even though I put it in as 4 ounce serving, it'll allow me to go ahead and say 1 ounce, and then I can get really specific. So again, let's say like I wanted 9 ounces, and then it's going to go ahead and give me the caloric intake with all the macros set for me there. And then I hit the check mark and we're done. So the nice thing is I'm going to go ahead and hit add food because I want you to see something. 1, here's my history, so I can continue to use these 2 that I've already used. And I'm going to click on my foods. And now my skinless chicken thighs are here, and I can use them at any time. So I don't have to put that in, and it's always going to be in my list. And it's going to be, you have this option here where it says date created. I can click that. And say, like, I want these sorted by when I created them, or you can do A to Z, Z to A. I would encourage, once you've got a lot of things in there, to just do it alphabetically because it'll be a lot easier to find your foods. All right, and that is how we start tracking using the barcode or creating my food.